Welcome, everyone. My name is Daphne, and I'm a caseworker at LCH. Today's chat will focus on mental health during the holiday season. And here to talk about it is Maria from the Domestic Violence Center and Beth from Behavioral Health at LCH, too. I've read that, unfortunately, domestic violence doesn't stop during the holidays, but may even intensify, that is, increase. Is this true? And can you tell us why?
Unfortunately, it's very true. I think that through research and statistics that we've studied over the last few years, and just with what we know with domestic violence and with our survivors, it's unfortunate that it tends to increase as there's more time at home because people are on vacation from work, from school. And there's also strain and stress because of finances. People are overwhelmed thinking that they have to have like the perfect Christmas, and it's financially, people put a lot of stress on themselves to make that happen. And so the stress, instead of going and dealing with it in a healthy way, comes out in an unhealthy way and in a super toxic way. And so it's unfortunate that we see that peak during the holidays.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, there's so many expectations placed on all of us during this time, so many demands, and there's just not enough time. We're stretched to the limit. What would you suggest we do to promote good health during this season?
So I definitely think this is more Beth's expertise for sure. But some of the things that we've seen in the last few years, and just with clients that we practice and I try to practice on a daily basis, not just during the holidays, is making sure that you're being intentional about self-care and taking time for yourself. You can't pour out from an empty glass. And I think people need to know and be very intentional about that. I've been learning that myself, just in my personal life and in my career. So it's very, very important for you to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and putting yourself first as you navigate through stress, and making sure that you are taking time to make sure that you are intentional about doing so. So that can mean anything. If finances are your stressor, making sure that you sit down and try to figure out how you can navigate, how you can budget better, making sure that you sit with somebody that is maybe, a financial consultant or somebody that is more expert in finances so that you can get that help and you can feel supported rather than overwhelmed. And the same thing goes for making sure that you're taking care of yourself as you parent in your relationship, family. A lot of holidays season includes a lot of family, and sometimes family, though we love them, can be a stressor. And so I think it starts with identifying where your stressors are and then trying to figure out and navigate how you can tackle them in the best way for you that works for you.
Right. And I know that in the past you have said for those who find themselves in a situation where tragically, that there is domestic violence in the home, that, we remind everybody about having a safety plan and perhaps maybe just putting that safety plan a little bit more up to date, and remind everyone that there is assistance even during the holiday season, that there are resources within the community and support available.
Yes, absolutely. It's crazy too that we forget sometimes when we're thinking about peace and how to not be stressed. We think of external things, and you want to come home to a home of peace. Unfortunately, in domestic violence, that's not always the case. It's rarely the case. You feel like you're walking on eggshells, and so mentally and emotionally it's exhausting and draining, and you're in fear for your life. So it's being intentional about making sure that you're taking care of you in every way. And so figuring out, that's what goes hand in hand with the safety plan, making sure that you're figuring out something that is accurate, up to date, and in a safe place so that you can be intentional about that.
Good advice. Beth, what can you tell us about how to handle this stressful period? What is it that, what tools can you offer those that are going through this stressful time?
Sure. Well, I think it's important that when stress is at its peak, that you just take some time and regroup. I think acknowledging your feelings is really important to yourself, but also to other people that you're close with. If someone has died recently, or you can't be with loved ones for other reasons over the holidays, it's normal to feel sadness and grief. And taking time out to cry or to talk about your feelings is important. You can't force yourself to be happy just because it's the holidays. And if it helps you to feel better, you can honor a lost loved one by doing something that keeps their memory alive, like lighting a candle or cooking their favorite meal. And it's important to reach out if you're feeling lonely or isolated, so you can seek out a community in so many ways. A religious community, go to other social events. Websites have online support groups over the holidays too, and virtual events. And those can offer some support and companionship. And it helps to take time out to talk to a friend or a family member, but you can do it over text or video chat as well. You don't have to be in the same room with them. And I think people also forget that volunteering or doing something to help others, it's always a good way to lift your own spirits over the holidays. And so even if it's, dropping off a meal to a friend that's also alone or that might need it, or volunteering at a soup kitchen, and being realistic that the holidays don't have to be perfect. Our families have changed, and as the pandemic continues, traditions and rituals often have to change, and we can create new ones. I think that, as Maria was saying, because it can be such a difficult emotional time for a lot of people as well, setting aside differences, just trying to accept your family for who they are, your friends for who they are, even if they don't live up to all of your expectations. You can set aside grievances that you may have had with family members just until a more appropriate time is for the discussion. And just be understanding that others may get upset or distressed because holidays are stressful, and depression and anxiety, definitely people feel them a lot over the holidays.
Yeah, that's so true. And again, what Maria was saying, we tend to overspend during this period, and that adds to the financial stress.
Sure.
So it's best to stick to a budget. There's so many articles that I read about, how to make your own gifts, or there's definitely so many ways that we can sort of avoid overspending and adding that financial stress.
It's hard, y'all. It's hard to budget, though. It's holidays. They got some good sales. We know what they're doing on purpose. It's hard.
It's true, but you could start like a family gift exchange and say, everybody picks one person and you shop for them, you set a limit, and you can still have fun, you can still get something.
Yes.
But that way everybody gets a present, but you're not going crazy.
Yes, I agree. I've done Pollyanna with my best friends for the last 3 years, and it saved me so much money. And you can be more intentional on that one person. So,
yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And taking a little bit of time for yourself as well, right? Taking a little breather, away from all the craziness of the season, and you come back a little bit more refreshed. And
that's very true. As Maria was saying, self-care is really important, and not abandoning healthy habits. A lot of times we do like to indulge at holidays, but
I'm guilty.
Remembering to avoid excessive alcohol use, because that can also cause families to become more emotional, and it can be a trigger for a lot of people. But to be healthy with what you're eating, and to make sure that you're also eating some good foods as well as the sweets, and taking a breather, listening to some music. All those things are very important, and being aware of just how much time you spend listening to news or the social media, and trying to limit that, because that can cause a lot of undue stress too, and put a lot of pressure on you that's not needed.
That's so true. Well, Maria and Beth, we want to thank you for providing us with such excellent advice on how to navigate not just the holidays, but any time that we are under a bit more stress than usual. These are tools that we can use to make sure we protect our own mental health and those that we care about. And again, we want to emphasize that help is available by reminding everyone that the Domestic Violence Center can be reached hours a day, 7 days a week, including holidays. And people can also reach out to LCH for assistance as well. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.